After last month's disaster, let's see how I've got on with my no spend for September. Hi, my name's Rachel. I do videos about decluttering, minimalism and my no spend year. And today we're going to do a review of my spending. If you can cast your minds back a month, it was a difficult month last month and I did struggle with the fact that I had overspent quite a bit and I just felt like it was a bit out of control and I wasn't able to do my normal kind of tracking. I think health-wise I wasn't great. I was busy with trips and then I had lots of rest because I needed rest, and it just meant that things were kind of up and down and I didn't really have that consistency that I need to be able to keep an eye on my finances. And I kind of got to the point where I was feeling sorry for myself as well, so I ended up spending when I probably shouldn't. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But we are back for September. I have been on it a little bit more. I have been meal planning like there's no tomorrow, and I have been tracking my spend, and I just haven't done as much this month, which is what I predicted. The first month back of school in a new school year is chaotic, and even though I've dropped down to 3 days now, it still has been quite full on and I've had to sleep or rest for my days off to be able to recover. It's settling now, so I'm in a better position now, but it has meant that I literally couldn't do anything for the month, which helps with the old spending. So let's see. Excuse my voice, I am losing it. That is also the conditions of being a teacher and not speaking for 6 weeks and then suddenly speaking again. And it becomes a shock to the system. I need to do more to kind of care for it really. But hopefully it won't last too long and it will disappear. So let's have a look at the month and see how I've got on. This month my pay covered 5 weekends, and weekends are when I top up petrol and top up my food. So I always count it as the weekends, and that's how I set my budget for food and petrol. The spend, I set it as a set amount each month, but that's kind of here not there at the minute when I've not been sticking to it, but that's what I'm gonna focus in on. I say around £70 a week for food, so that would give me a budget of £350 for 5 weekends. I was away for the first weekend, no, yes I was. I have been away for a couple of weekends, so that has meant that I have been a bit more resourceful and really targeted using up food as well and only buying what I absolutely needed. So the strategies that I put in place this month was a good meal plan. I've mapped out my meals for the week. I have then also stuck to that list. I've put in a list and tried to also then use up food. So those are 3 main things that I've started doing. I've also gone to a different store. I was an Aldi girl through and through, and I switched to Tesco, primarily because they were sending me vouchers for money off my shop each week. So giving me £4 off and like £6 or £8 off for the first week, and then 4 weeks of £4, which has helped. That's been worth doing for me. I think I'm going to reassess when I run out of those vouchers as to whether or not to do it, but it has worked so far. And the last week that I did my food shop, I used the scan and shop for Tesco, so the little gun where you can do all the scanning of all your items and know what your total is as you go round. That was really helpful. So what I did then was any time that my son suggested something, we kind of assessed whether or not it was something that we could swap out, or just know whether or not we were getting the best price, or if we had used the meal deals and things like that. So it wasn't a total shock then when I came to pay, because it was all there and it was all sorted. So that worked out well. So I might try that again. Did have an issue when we went to collect the scanners because it just wasn't letting them out. I don't know what happened, but it was a Saturday and it was a busy day, so perhaps they were just out of battery, but they weren't releasing, but somebody managed to sort it out so I could use one. So while we're on food, let's talk food. I only did 4 big shops because I was away for 2 of the weekends. I kind of factored in using up stuff and delayed my big shop by a few days, so it kind of like merged into the next week a little bit. So I kind of didn't do as many big shops, which does then reduce the temptation of buying other things or things that aren't on the list. And I'm very careful to make sure that any kind of treats and stuff that are bought outside of the food shop, like chocolate or something, is counted as spend rather than food budget, because I want to know that that's actually excess and that's what I'm buying, rather than saying, oh, we can just cover it under the food budget. I want to be really specific that that's the food for the main meals and snacks, etc. Chocolate is like an extra, isn't it, rather than a daily thing for me, although I've done it weekly. So yeah, in my 4 weekly shops, let me just run you through. The first time I spent £54, and that was probably with an £8 off voucher or something like that. Then I had a £40 shop and then a £93 shop. That one was expensive. I think I bought things like toothbrush heads and some cat litter and other cleaning stuff that was needed. So, and toilet roll. So those kind of things kind of added up a little bit. And then I did a £60 shop as the last shop. So I think it kind of evened out. Bar the 90, that's a freak occurrence. I was actually doing quite well at keeping it 60 or under for the main food shop. And it was just odd little bits that I'd bought outside of that, really. So in total, I'm sure you'll be keen to know, is £342.59. So I'm actually under my £350 budget. Woohoo! I did it. And that's because I meal planned. And I can show you what I did for my meal plan. I just made a note on my phone, and on the note I had a list of the meals that I was going to make, and I had a look at my cupboards first to see what I already had so I could gauge an idea of what meals. And these are kind of our regular meals. So we do a stir fry, just a pasta meal, like pasta bake, we do a curry, we do a pizza / risotto. I don't eat pizza, my son does, but I have risotto that day. Croutons and enchiladas. Those are our meals. And our lunches, I have salad and jacket potato, and my son has like picky bits, as well as a school dinner for a couple of days. And then from that, I then did an ingredients list by going through what I already had in the cupboards and then just adding what was needed. So I needed salad, I needed fruit, I needed the pizza and croutons, I needed the curry sauce, I needed the stir fry veg and the sauce and the noodles. I needed cooked chicken for my son's lunches, a pasta sauce. My son chooses his breakfast stuff, and then crisps, and then yogurts, milk and eggs. That ended up being all that we needed to be able to make the meal. So that ended up working out really well, hence why that one was a cheap week. I think that's the week that I managed to keep it to £40 because I did that, and I just had a week where I used stuff up because I think I knew that I was going away the following week, so I just wanted to make sure I was being really efficient. So I always make my salads. I have those Monday to Wednesday, and then jacket potato for the end of the week. So I make that on a Sunday night for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I make my lunches Thursday, Friday at home because I'm at home for those. So that's how I do that one. I think it was good that I managed to keep to budget. So that's working well for the £70 a week budget. So I will keep to that. Next month is only 4 weeks, so that should help me stay on track. So it'll be £280 for next week's budget, next month's budget. For petrol, I think I budget around 175 and I spent 167.37, and that's not bad considering I went to Wentworth for the golf. So I have been to places as well in that budget, so that has done me well. That's a brief update on the petrol. It's definitely going up again, the petrol prices. That's a little concerning that it's not stabilising or going down at all. So we're still in the 150s, and I've even had to pay 164 in one place. Spend. This is where I struggled last month, and I was close to tears, not gonna lie. that I'd spent so much. But I've tried my best to be a little bit more reserved, to still have some activities going on, still doing some stuff and going out and socialising, but just thinking a bit more tactfully about what I'm spending money on. So we did like a little charity shop haul, so we went and had a look at some stuff when we went down to the beach after school, went around the town and had a little wander, just as something social to do with me and my son after school. I bought some gifts, I bought food out, and I bought a couple of treats. Yeah, so I've definitely been getting treats within the middle of the week, and that's something that I need to kind of be a bit more reserved about. I think doing it every week is probably a bit much, but I should not withhold too much. So life is for living still, absolutely. Yeah, and I had food out with a friend. So in total I have spent £110.69, and considering my budget is around 100, I think that's much better, much more on track. I feel like that is a little bit more reasonable. So I'm hoping this month, I'm trying to think what I've got going on. I don't think there's much going on as such. I think I'm trying to calm it down a little bit. I know I've got some food out this week and in a couple of weeks, so I know I've got some events coming up which might be pricey, but that's it. I don't have anything else. I'm going to try and do 3 activities that I can do and use things that I've already got access to. Like I've already got access to National Trust membership for the year, so I'm going to see if I can do a few more places, maybe nearby or a bit further out, to kind of have some activities to do but without costing much more than a bit of petrol. So hopefully that will be a good plan of action for the next month. Yeah, and next month is a 4-week month, so that will help to keep the budget. Let me know if you're doing a no spend month down here or no spend year. I've been doing it for almost 3 years now, coming up in December, that I have been restricting my money and spending on other things. Like this year I have focused on travel. The last couple of years I was clearing debt and saving. It's been nice to have a bit of a journey with that, and hopefully I can get back onto the savings again. I think I have been quite spendy, so I need to see what I can do to kind of start the savings again and get into a good position. I should be back for more videos soon. Take care, bye.